Good evening, everyone. Here we are Friday News on, of course, the 1st of July. 1st of July, bloody hell. 1st of July, bloody hell. 1st of July, ladies and gentlemen. Well, very, very... Starters, what are you doing? So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are. It is, of course, the 1st of July, 2026. Are we all okay? We're all okay. So, good evening, everyone. Busy day today. Bit of rain here today. It started to rain a bit now, so not very heavy, just a little bit. But anyway, there you go. You know, it's just one of them things. I mean, people will probably be dying, and they'll all be wrapped up in the beds already. You know what I mean? I mean, we'll probably be flooding tomorrow. We need canoes or something. I don't know. I'm surprised there's not even a red weather alert warning for 3 spots of rain. Very dangerous. Very dangerous. So yeah, very interesting. So good evening, everyone. We are, of course, the 1st of the 7th, 2026, which adds up to 1 and 7 is 8. And, of course, 26 is 8. That gives us 8-8. Very interesting. The 8-8 portal, maybe. Or if you do add up all the numbers, it comes to 18. And 1 and 8 is 9, which gives us completion. So there you go. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Anyway, let's have a look. Let's have a quick look at the bullshit tonight. Now, don't forget the latest attacks that are taking place. Barry from Eritrea. We've also got Nigel from Somalia. Nigel from Somalia there, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, very interesting name that. Apparently he came straight out of the Congo. Nobody quite knows his name, but apparently people are calling him Nigel. There's also been various other attacks by all kinds of people. Apparently there was a fight in the Outer Hebrides earlier today from an Afghan man called Robin. Very interesting. Reminds me a bit of, can you remember Phil McCann back in the day with the petrol shortage? You know what I mean? What about Aminabed? Remember Aminabed? Suffering from COVID? Yeah, very foreigner. Very, very interesting. So anyway, you've just got to laugh, ladies and gentlemen. That's all you got to do. Anyway, let's go through the bullshit. Right. Apparently Iranian hackers have proved that Israel was responsible for the Charlie Kirk assassination. And not only that, but Charlie Kirk's wife, I mean, we knew this anyway, is, of course, a Mossad agent and was, of course, responsible. Now, interestingly enough, apparently Erica Kirk also had knowledge of the fake assassination on Donald Trump. Now, if anybody tells me that the assassination on Donald Trump was real, well, you must be taking fucking LSD. That's all I can say. Or maybe you were watching it with beer goggles. It was pretty obvious it was a setup. Anyway, why they would set that up, I don't know, and I don't really care. But it was definitely a setup. Now, Benjamin Netanyahu apparently has got a new plan to control Lebanon. Now, the new plan's just come out. It seems as though that the new plan is exactly the same as the old plan, which means bomb the fuck out of Lebanon. Now, apparently there was a big explosion there, apparently, a couple of days ago, which was bordering on a nuclear device. Now, we don't quite know what that means when you're bordering on a nuclear device. I don't quite know. I mean, you're either using a nuclear device or you're really not using a nuclear device. I don't know how you border on using one. But anyway, that was the local press. Interestingly enough, have you noticed that Gaza seems to have disappeared out of the headlines? Ever noticed that one? And then here we have royalty. Now, royalty, of course, now scraping the bottom of the barrel, of course. Of course. Here we have Kate doing the 3-peak challenge. What the fuck is all that about? I mean, it's splashed all over the papers. You know, Kate's raising money for cancer research and all kinds of bullshit. And apparently she did the 3-peak challenge. Now, it was done in rather a different manner than what it normally was. She was actually carried up both the three mountains via, of course, the mountain rescue teams, which is quite an interesting way to do the 3-peak challenge. Anyway, people have refused to give the money over to her. I mean, I didn't even know she was doing it. But anyway, apparently billions and billions of pounds have been raised for cancer research. Now, remember that, of course, cancer research has been going on the go now for somewhere in the region of 50 years. I mean, billions and billions of pounds have been raised, and absolutely fuck all has come out of the research. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing. I mean, some holistic therapies have got closer to the truth than the cancer research people. Anyway, there you go. You keep on paying. You keep on paying. You keep on listening to bullshit. That's all I can do. Now, I mean, migrants, of course, a bit of a problem in the UK, as you well know. We've got migrants running around mentally ill every fucking site. Keir Starmer says there's a problem. Sid Charles says there's a problem. Mark Rowley from the Metropolitan Police, there's not a problem. Even Andy Burnham says there's not a problem. I mean, forget about the rape gangs, of course. That's a whole new fucking other story. Now, of course, as you well know, Andy Burnham is, of course, the gatekeeper for the Manchester rape gangs. You may or may not know that. If you don't, well, there you go. You do fucking now. Now, apparently, in 2021 and 2022, apparently 4,500 people were deported. Now, we're not sure whether they were men. We're not sure whether or not they were trans. We're not sure. But anyway, apparently 4,500 illegal immigrants were deported from the UK. And lo and behold, in 2025, 4,500 people have been relocated back to Britain. And, of course, this is on the back of Omar Sharif from Bradford, who is a convicted paedophile and rapist. He's actually got court orders to be deported. Unfortunately, he won't sign the paperwork. Bradford Council said, well, there's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do. Well, let me make a suggestion to Bradford Council. Why don't you put the little scruffy fucker on a fucking plane, give him a fucking parachute, fly to fucking India and drop the twat out of the fucking airplane. Whether or not you want to pull the chute or not is entirely up to you, but that's how I would fucking deal with it. Anyway, there you go. I mean, I don't know what the cost of a parachute is now. Maybe 500 quid, as opposed to 500 quid a week for the rest of his fucking life. Yes, very interesting. Despite the fact as well that probably multiple more women and children will be raped by him while he enjoys his perverse stay in, of course, the UK. Now, don't forget, apparently, Mahmoud Shamin, whoever her fucking name is, has said that 70,000 migrants have been deported already from the shores of the UK. Well, I haven't seen anything yet at the moment, but anyway, there you go. And then, of course, the latest plan is, of course, The latest plan now, of course, is to charge the migrants £10,000 a year. Now, apparently the migrants have got to pay back this £10,000 a year. Let's look at it like a tax. As soon as they get a high-powered job, of course, in Westminster, they will be expected to pay the £10,000 back. Or maybe they're going to get a high-powered job as a doctor, or maybe a dentist, maybe, or maybe an engineer. We're not quite sure, because, of course, all these people are well qualified, as you well know. Now, I'm not sure how they're going to enforce this, but apparently the £10,000 is going to cover the cost, of course, of looking after these little fuckers. Unfortunately, what people don't realise is that these people cost £10,000 a week, and it's rising. There we go. And then, of course, Andy Burnham, fucking eyebrows Andy, as we like to call him. More bullshit from this young man. Now, of course, as you well know, Keir Starmer resigned last week. So did the Defence Secretary, the Defence Chief, John Healey. This week, apparently, John Healey, Keir Starmer and Rachel Reeves were trying to find an extra $28 billion for the defence budget. And hold on a minute, didn't Keir Starmer resign? I don't know about you, but when you resign, don't you have to clear your desk and fuck off out the office rather sharpish? Know what I mean? Same with John Healey. Why is John Healey still apparently talking to Rachel Reeves and Keir Starmer about the defence budget? Very interesting. Anyway, it just shows you the level of bullshit that, of course, is happening. And then, lo and behold, Keir Starmer resigns, of course, over being shown the Epstein files at the G7 summit, where, of course, pictures, videos and audio are seen of him on, of course, Epstein Island, with a bunch of other MPs that are going to be named very shortly. Yes, hold on to that one. You remember, conspiracy theorists are normally round about 6 to 12 months in front of the curve, including me. So, now Keir Starmer resigns, obviously, and then apparently he's going to be given the top job at NATO. Now, I don't know about you, but if I was NATO, I would actually be fairly fucking worried about Keir Starmer taking the top job. Now, this, of course, is a man that can't actually stop rubber boats, fails to get hold of the migrant situation in any way, shape or form, rampant crime running amok all across the country, rape and pillage is at an all-time high, the killing of babies and children is just way out of control by certain members of the society, and what could possibly go wrong if you give Keir Starmer the NATO job? I mean, I think it's all horseshit, but anyway, there you go. Now, meanwhile, of course, Katie Price and Lee have bought a puppy. Now, we all wanted to know that, didn't we? Yes, of course you did. So, Katie Price, of course, this is the... I'm not quite sure what you would call her. I don't really have a word in my vocabulary that would explain any way, shape or form the impression of Katie Price. But anyway, so Katie Price got shafted over by Lee. Lee got locked up in Dubai. Katie demanded that Lee tell her the truth. Lee, of course, decided that... he was going to tell her a version of what happened. Now, of course, Katie flew across to see Lee in Dubai, courtesy of the Sun newspaper, and a rather very interesting interview. And then it seems as though that the £150,000 bail just happens to be the fine just happens to be the same amount of money that Katie Price got paid for the interview from the Sun. Oh, fucking hell. There you go. Now, don't forget, the Sun is, of course, funded by the UK taxpayer, as well as many other publications. I bet you didn't know that one. Well, you do fucking now. And they've got a puppy. Now, apparently, they've got a puppy, and Katie tried to claim that it was actually a baby. Yes, this is the level of intelligence that this certain person seems to hold. So very, very interesting. Now, let's have a quick look at firearms statistics today. Now, in 6 months, apparently 3,500 firearms have been found at Dover, just at the Dover. So, of course, apart from illegal across the channel and into the country, if that's not aid and abetting, I don't fucking know what is. In the last 6 months, 3,500 firearms were seized by, of course, the border. Now, we range here 47s, submachine pistols, grenades, pistols of all kinds of descriptions, knackers, baseball bats. What else are we get? Oh yeah, surface to air missile. Fucking hell, that's a serious one, isn't it? I mean, apparently the men that were trying to get the surface-to-air missile into the country said that they were using it for fishing off the Dover coast. Not sure about what they're fishing for, but anyway, surface-to-air missile seems to be a little bit over the top for fishing. Anyway, not to worry too much. Apparently, also, what else has been fucking hell? What else has been found is a couple of nuclear devices, as you do, and yeah. Anybody thinking that security is breached? I don't know about you. But there you go. Now, we have to talk about, of course, the World Cup widows. Now, of course, as you well know, during the World Cup, certain females of the fraternity become widows for about, I don't know whether it's 2 weeks or 3 weeks or however fucking long it is. Now, not only do they become widows, of course, but as you well know, domestic violence increases, domestic abuse increases, etc., etc., etc. And this is all because of a game of football. And when we put it into perspective, this is 22 men plus a couple of referees kicking around a bag of oxygen for apparently a metal cup that tells everyone that they're the best in the world. Quite an interesting one, that one, isn't it? And then, of course, we have the 80 to 90,000 Muppets that are watching the fucking game, not realising, of course, that they have been hoodwinked into forking out an absolute fortune to watch this very fixed tragedy that is unfolding over the last few weeks. And then, of course, we have Serena Williams on centre court at Wimbledon. I mean, I'm not being funny, but that girl, if you can call her a girl, is a very, very big unit. I mean, I wouldn't like to come across her in the jungles of Borneo, let me tell you. Anyway, Serena will, of course, be coming out very shortly, and just like Michelle Obama, it will be common knowledge. Oh, not to mention Mrs. Macron, of course. That's another little one. Oh, and there are, well, literally a little one. There are multiple others, and if you are paying attention, you can actually see who they are. Very interesting. So, what else have we got? Now, Mr. Putin's come out and given the West a bit of a warning, really. He's told the West that, unfortunately, you give us no choice. We have nowhere to go. We have nowhere else to go, he said. He is, of course, referring to the fact that NATO are trying to land themselves in Ukraine. This is a big no-no, etc., etc. I mean, this is like putting the IRA in Bristol, or should we say, any other military faction in central London. So, if you think that the Russians aren't serious about NATO being involved in Ukraine, well, you better buckle up, because at the end of the day, Mr. Putin is having none of the fucker. So we can wait and see. Now, as you all know, Ukraine has never actually become an independent state. It never signed the paperwork. It never went a full hog, etc., etc. And so all of this rhetoric around Ukraine being an independent nation, etc., etc., and joining NATO is an absolute load of Western bollocks. But this, of course, is the Western bollocks well in action. And, of course, we've seen the Western bollocks taking place in, of course, Iraq. Afghanistan, in Yemen, it's taking place. It's taking place in, of course, Iran at the moment. Yeah, and yet I find it strangely interesting that Israel can continue to bomb the shit out of Gaza and bomb the shit out of Lebanon, and nobody says a word. Quite amazing, that is, isn't it? Very, very interesting. Now, Trump's former national security advisor, and I cannot think of his name for the life of me. I did have it on the end of my tongue. What's his name? Fucking hell, Jason will know. Jason, talk to me, mush. Talk to me, Jason. Yeah, Donald Trump's former national security advisor. So let me tell you, it'll come up in a minute. Let me tell you, this guy has just been fined 2.25 million. Okay. He's actually had his pension removed. Okay. And it looks to me, from what I can gather, that this guy is about to go to prison. John, is it John? John Poulton? John Poulton. John Poulton rings a bell. Come on, Jason, talk to me. Yeah, I'm sure he's National Security Advisor. Yeah, very interesting. Anyway, doesn't really matter. But what is interesting, that the guy's got a £2.25 million fine. Okay, now that's a bit serious, isn't it? Anyway, now we had the big headline apparently the other day. Apparently 83 asylum people or seekers, 83 asylum seekers. Apparently John Bolton, that's it. I knew I wasn't far off. John Bolton, his name is, National Security Advisor, ex-National Security Advisor for the US of A, £2.25 million fine. Very, very interesting. Pension gone, prison next. Mark my words. Anyway, let's get back to the 83 asylum seekers. Now, apparently, 83 asylum seekers were going to be housed in brand new £250,000 new builds. by, of course, Barrett's. Absolute fucking priceless shit, that. Meanwhile, of course, veterans across the country can't get a fucking sleeping bag. Never mind a fucking house. And, yeah. Anyone angry yet? Veterans are angry. Homeless people are angry. I mean, what about our people that are on the council the council housing list that are waiting for, properties, etc.? Now, this was quite interesting because after this was announced in the local papers, of course, it was basically denounced by Mahmoud. Mahmoud actually pulled it. Now, the reason that I think that happened was because hell have no fury like people against asylum seekers. So there you go. I think that's why that was pulled. Anyway, there you go. Now, let's all go back to the Friends of Israel. Now, the Friends of Israel are quite interesting people. We have the likes of Keir Starmer, Andy Burnham, David Lammy, Rachel Reeves. The list is long and endless. There's also a long list of Conservative MPs that are Friends of Israel. We told you that Israel was using phosphorus bombs to basically bomb Gaza. Now, they've not stopped there, of course. They've decided to bomb Lebanon with phosphorus bombs. Now, I don't know whether you know anything about phosphorus bombs, but let me tell you all about them. When they drop a phosphorus bomb, it creates like a heat bomb. It's like a heat bomb. And what happens is that the phosphorus gets inhaled, first of all, by of course, the person on the ground. Then what happens is that the phosphorus begins to burn the lungs from the inside out. And it doesn't stop. It goes through the lungs, through the bones, through the chest. Basically, you lose your throat, you lose absolutely everything. And then, not content with that, but if you get this white phosphorus on your person, as in on your skin, the fucking stuff starts to react very badly to, obviously, skin, and it burns the skin to the point where you literally melt. So if you are a friend of Israel and you support Benjamin Netanyahu and you support the genocide that is happening now, not only in Gaza, but is also in Lebanon as well, which, by the way, is against the Geneva Convention. Phosphorus was banned from the Geneva Convention years and years ago. So that would be our retort. That would be our retort to the Friends of Israel. And if I was ever in front of these people, myself personally, as a journalist, I would be asking the fucking question. I would be fucking pulling them fuckers out like no tomorrow. Because nobody seems to want to talk about it. I mean, Jeremy Corbyn, bless him, he was back up in the House of Commons the morning that Keir Starmer, or was it Tuesday morning? The morning that Keir Starmer resigned. And he was trying to get back into the debate, the inquiry into the genocide that's happening with Israel. And let's not forget, ladies and gentlemen, that Keir Starmer basically ousted Jeremy Corbyn in a coup d'etat. If you don't know what a coup d'etat is, it just means we're going to fuck you over. So Jeremy Corbyn was classed as an anti-Semite, etc., etc., etc. And this anti-Semite label is actually quite an interesting label. Anti-Semitism means that you are against the atrocities and the genocide that Israel is using upon our friends around the world. What would you do if it was your children? What would you do if it was your auntie and your uncle or your mum and your dad that were getting this treatment, especially the phosphorus? Yeah, I suppose you'd be a little bit fucking mad. I suppose that you might even get a little bit angry. And you see, this is the problem that we've got. Most people don't get angry enough. Most people sit by and say fuck all and do fuck all and keep their mouth shut. And they're too scared. Some people, do you know, some people are even scared of their own fucking shadow. Do you know? Some people are scared to stand out. Some people are scared to put their head above the parapet for fear, okay, fear, another interesting word there, for fear of being labelled. Labelled as outspoken, labelled as a conspiracy theorist. And the amazing part that I found most of all is that people don't want to talk about child trafficking. They don't want to talk about drug trafficking. They don't want to talk about organ trafficking. They don't want to talk about, should we say, blood trafficking. They don't want to talk about why the NHS basically, don't allow pregnant women to deliver the baby in a natural way. Why is that? It's very interesting, isn't it? I mean, look at the recent cases in Nottingham Queen's Medical Centre, one of the finest, apparently, establishments in the NHS arsenal. Very interesting. 200, 300, 400 women, mothers and babies been put at great risk, ladies and gentlemen, by, of course, our flagship NHS. Amazing, really, isn't it? Now, let's quickly go to the England versus Congo game. Very interesting. Once again, Harry Kane pops up, number 9. Now, this is, I think this, if I'm not right in thinking, this has now happened either 2 or 3 times. Harry Kane has saved the day. Now, Harry Kane, of course, wears the number 9. And in the instances that I'm talking about, he's actually scored 2 goals, which is 1-1, which gives us, ladies and gentlemen, 9-11. Coincidence? Maybe. Let's wait and see, shall we? Let's wait and see. Israeli journalists on the 9/11 theme 3 times now. Harry Kane 3 times. I knew it was more than 2. Anyway, 3 times. Israeli journalists have now come out and said that the United States of America will need a 9/11 event so that Israel can prove it's a friend. Now, where have we heard that one before? Very interesting. And then, of course, we have to talk about our friends from the Skull and Bones Society. Now, if you don't know anything about the Skull and Bones, they are rather a raucous bunch of characters. And, of course, they do some raucous things. And some of the initiation ceremonies leave a lot to be desired. Now, when I was a kid, I mean, we got thrown over the hedge, or you had your trousers pulled down as a first year when you started what we classed as the big school, and it was all done in friendly, jovial banter. Not very good when you were going over the hedge, though. But anyway, this is out of Yale University, and this, of course, is particularly interesting for the people out of Yale. Now, of course, we have 2 characters out of Yale, JFK Jr. and Senior, ladies and gentlemen. So let's Yale University, what a great institution. Skull and Bones, yeah, a bit like the. Now, what's the Westminster one that Boris Johnson was in? I bet Jason knows about this one. Fucking hell, what was it? Yeah, there was so anyway, before we go on to Boris Johnson and I think it's the Bovington Society or something like that they call them, and they're just like, I mean, they're just posh twats, honestly, absolute posh twats. Anyway, let's just talk the Skull and Bones. So what do you need to do to be able to be in the Skull and Bones Society? Well, first of all, some of the initiations are done in a graveyard. Very interesting. Some of the initiations are done while you are actually in a coffin. Yeah, I'll come to that in a minute. The Bullington Club. The Bullington Club was Boris Johnson. So, so let's just go back to the Skull and Bones. Now, apparently, one of the initiation ceremonies in the Skull and Bones, bear in mind, this is the... This is George Bush Jr. and Sr. I've got it the other way around. This is George Bush Jr. and Sr. Apparently, you have to be penetrated by at least 100 men. This, of course, is in the anal passage. Very interesting. Another interesting one. Apparently, 100 men have to urinate over you while you're in a coffin. Now, I don't know about you, but that just seems fucking weird to me. But anyway, that's what you have to do to get into the Skull and Bones Club. Now, of course, as you progress through the ranks of the Skull and Bones Society, of course, things get a little out of hand, and it becomes more and more interesting, should we say, or should we say more and more satanic. The Bullington Club, Boris Johnson, we're just going to mention the word pig. That's all we're going to say. We're not going to go into any details regarding the pig because, of course, we don't want to upset the pigs on the program. So, very, very interesting. Now, 29th, which was, of course, yesterday, I think it was. Not quite sure, I can't remember. Apparently, the CERN was shut down. Now, apparently, the CERN has been shut down due to routine maintenance. Now, apparently, a pigeon called Barry apparently got into the inner mechanisms of the CERN machine and apparently has stopped it from operating. Now, you will recall, of course, the very interesting opening ceremony of the CERN people, which looked rather satanic to me. I don't know about you, but anyway, let's wait and see. So, CERN has been shut down. I'd heard that it was going to be shut down last Friday, but the reasons for the shutdown, don't know. Sure, it's going to come out. Now, going back to the World Cup, of course. Now, Saudi Arabia are out. Egypt are out. And, of course, Iran are out as well. Now, that means, ladies and gentlemen, that the only remaining Muslim country in the World Cup at the moment is, of course, England. This, of course, is referring to the king who is now apparently not a Christian patriot anymore. Apparently, he has gone full squealy, piggy. Very interesting. So we'll wait and see. Now, meanwhile, apparently in the French city of Marseille, or Marcel, or whatever you want to call it, I don't know how you pronounce that, apparently the heavy populated migrant area are displaying open shoot-ups using AK-47s. Now, apparently Apparently, they are testing the weapons from apartment blocks and shooting into the air. Now, I don't know about you, but that seems quite an interesting way to celebrate the World Cup, don't you think? Now, meanwhile, of course, in Russia, Russia has revamped one of their nuclear missile cruisers. Now, this was an old ship, but they've spent a bit of dollar on it. They've polished it up. They've polished the bell housing, etc. The bell, sorry. And this boat is called the Admiral Nakimov, or something like that. Anyway, apparently this Russian missile cruiser apparently can outrun the entire US Navy fleet. Meanwhile, of course, Britain follows up the rear in, of course, rubber dinghies. There you go. Right, ladies and gentlemen, on that note, I'm going to get myself off. And a little note for people, ladies and gentlemen. A little note in regards to the Fruit and Nut Chat. The Fruit and Nut Chat is there for everybody. It's designed so that people can have a chat. It's designed so that people can post. It's designed so that people can, do whatever it is that they want to do. The chat, of course, is a freedom of speech platform. We trust that people understand the difference between commenting once or twice a day to commenting once or twice every fucking second. Now, we don't really want to have to do something about this. However, if it continues, we are going to have to do something about it. And so, at the end of the day, we've already given some very subtle hints and some very, should we say, nice hints about what the Fruit and Nut Chat is all about. And so we would expect that as a enlightened person, you would be able to recognize when you would be able to recognize the difference between posting and fucking posting every 5 seconds. Anyway, I'm going to leave that for now. We'll keep an eye on it and we'll see what happens within the next few days. This is a warning. This is a warning. So don't leave me with any other choice, please. Anyway, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, you take care. 44 people in the house. We've talked some good stuff today. Anyway, listen, you have a great day. I'm back at the kitchen tomorrow. To be fair, we're not overly too far off now. There is some, there's always the faffy stuff. There's always the faffy stuff that takes the longest. Do you know what I'm saying? Anyway, love you loads. Take care. We'll see you all again soon. Have a great day and, have a great evening. Have a great evening. And we will see you all again tomorrow. Love you loads. See you soon.